Does anyone else in America feel like you're waking up every single day to realizing that your entire life has been a complete scam and a lie?
How is everyone struggling at the same time right now? Like, I'm looking around and it's not just one group of people. It's people with degrees. It's people with jobs. It's people doing everything that they're supposed to be doing and still barely getting by.
Welcome to America. We keep your nose clean. Don't do any drugs. Make sure you don't get in trouble with the police. Go to college, then also get married, and everything will be A-okay. America, you'll do better than your parents, we promise.
So it's like, at what point do we stop acting like this is an individual problem and admit that something is just not working anymore?
You're gonna admit that the system's the problem? It's not an individual failure, but a failure of the system? You mean that you can't blame people for being poor or homeless? Then how will we live if we can't blame the homeless guy for being homeless? How will we live if we can't blame the alcoholic for touching alcohol? How will we live if we can't blame the child molester for doing child molestation? Wait a second. Maybe that one we should.
More.
We pay taxes on the money that we earned. Then we pay taxes on the things that we buy. Plus we pay taxes on the streets and the roads and the schools and everything else in the world.
It's taxes that are the problem. Well, you know what's funny about taxes? If you want to tax me, then I want something back for it. But you're not giving me anything back for it. I get nothing. The federal government takes money from me and I get fuck all, except for wars in Iran. Great. We all asked you, hey, go ahead and take my money. I want healthcare, please. No, we're going to go to war with Iran, a place that has a constitutional right for healthcare. Do you know that in Iran, in their constitution, you have a constitutional right for healthcare? In the Constitution? Like in their Constitution? Is that Sharia law?
Then we pay taxes for the things that we own long term, like your car and your house and whatever, property taxes, blah, blah, blah. Please tell me why it is tax season and we owe a couple $1,000s. Please tell me why.
Tell me why. I owe a couple dollars. I owe $2,000. It's true. I owe so much money on. Why do I owe so much money? I'm poor. And I owe all this goddamn money? I owe the government a lot of money. I owe the government more money than anybody else. And yet, I don't get shit. I don't even have health insurance.
But then you get a little side job or two, in my case too, and you owe more taxes on that. And then you...
Is this woman driving? Someone else drive? Is someone sitting there next to her like... Is that what's happening? What's happening here?
And you're not even making much more money, so it's not even like you're in a higher tax bracket. But let's say you made $2,000 little extra dollars that year, and then you owe like half of that in taxes. Please tell me how anybody's supposed to get ahead. You're not. The answer is that you're not. This is ridiculous. I'm so done with it. I'm a little heated, yes, because how do we owe a couple $1,000s in taxes? We're broke.
What do you mean I paid a credit card down to zero finally, and I get an email today that my credit score has decreased?
Because you're not carrying any credit. You have a bad credit score because you're not carrying any credit. You got to carry a credit. You got to always be about 30% in debt. It's true. You don't pay off all your credit cards because then no one will want to give you money. Don't pay off all your credit cards. Get to the point where you're only paying a little bit. Don't pay them off completely. Don't do it. Or pay them off, but you got to use them constantly. Use them for everything and just pay them off every month. That's good. That'll help. But don't pay them off and leave them on the table. They hate that. They're going to give you a bad score if you do that shit.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
My husband and I decided we were done with insurance, health insurance, so we just opted out. And our premium was going to go up $500 a month for a family of four. But anyway, we're like, screw this. We'll just pay cash. I just had a mammogram. And what they charge your insurance,
mammogram. Don't get a mammogram. You're not allowed to get mammograms. What, are you fucking got cancer? No, you don't want to know about your cancer. You got a lump? You don't need a mammogram. Mammogram. Mammogram? Like a telegram?
a letter that was like, oh, your estimated cost is $800. And I'm like, cheaper than what we were paying for our monthly premium. So I'll deal with it. And I get in here and they were like, oh, this is what the cost of the mammogram is, $1,500. But since you're no insurance, we are charging you $95. But since you're paying cash, you are only charged $75.
Yeah. You ever done that? I've done that. I remember I went to the fucking, man, last time I had an employer, Last time I wasn't self-employed. The employer forgot to pay my insurance for 3 months. And I went to the doctor. I had an accident and I went to the doctor. My foot was fucked up. And I went to the urgent care and I was like, yeah, here's my insurance. They're like, no, insurance, you don't have insurance. And I went, what the fuck? So I called my employer and HR was like, yeah, we fucked up. But if you pay all the back premium for the last 3 months, and that's going to be like over a few $1,000s or something, then we'll give you insurance for this urgent care visit. And I was like, hold on a second. You're telling me I got to pay it's a couple $1,000s for my premium so that I can get this service for free? And I'm like looking at, I was in the office and I go to I'm in urgent care. And I'm like, well, how much is it going to cost me for my visit? They're like, oh yeah, like $250. So I said, fuck it, give me the $250. And then afterwards, because I was no insurance, they said, okay, well, you need medicine, like a painkiller thing. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have insurance. So that's like, okay, we got a coupon that you're going to bring to the CVS. Here's your coupon. And I got this like $100 drug for like $5. Why should I have insurance at all? Fuck insurance. Remember those guys on Jackass, they never had insurance. They had all those accidents where they're breaking their wrists and stuff like that. They just went to the hospital like, fuck it. Just what do I owe you? Put it on my tab.
And I'm just like, insurance is a scam. It's a scam. Same thing with my with insurance, my primary care physician, I would get a bill and I would end up having to pay $175 for every visit that's with insurance. So I'm paying my monthly premium. And then as a cash patient, it's $95. I'm so sick of American healthcare.
All right, let me say this clearly.
I love that Americans are starting to wake up to this. I hope more people make content like this. I hope they do. Because what the hell? What is going on here? Capitalism works like a charm. Yes. It works for some people, huh? It works for some people. How come it doesn't work for me? It's working for somebody, I guess. I don't know. Some people are having a good time.
What's happening right now isn't about one video, one scandal, or one state. It's about why people don't trust anything anymore. Because every single time that something gets exposed, and I don't care if it's daycare funding, disaster relief, COVID money, corporate bailouts, or political favors, the reaction is always the same. First, people notice something doesn't add up. The math doesn't match. The story doesn't line up. Then they ask.
And then you ask why, and then they kill you.
Questions. And instead of answers, they get told to calm down. They get told that they're misinformed. They get told that they're being divisive for even asking. That's when truth dies.
Aid to Israel, though. Hey, aid to Israel. You know that Israel has healthcare. Let's find out if it's a constitutional right to healthcare. I want to know. I don't know. They have healthcare. In Israel, do they have a constitutional right to healthcare? Yes, they have universal health care. Every citizen and permanent resident has a legally guaranteed right to health care services based on the National Health Insurance Law of 1995. While Israel does not have a single formal constitution, its 1995 law essentially functions as the country's constitutional guarantee for health care. So they have a constitutional guaranteed basket. The law requires all providers to offer a standardized comprehensive health basket covering doctor visits, hospitalization, surgeries, and prescription medication. Israel has universal health care. Those dirty socialists over in Israel. I don't know who pays for it. Let's find out how much it costs. How much does the health insurance cost Israel and their taxpayers? How much money does it cost at the end of the day? Let's find out how much money it's costing Israel. It costs annually 40 billion USD. It's 7% of its gross domestic product. 7%. Wow. $40 billion. Not bad. That means they're getting some really good fucking healthcare. And how much? $40 billion every year. Let's find out. How much money does the United States send to Israel every year? We send $38 billion memorandum, a baseline of $3.8 billion per year in military aid. This annual allocation is guaranteed under a 10-year, $38 billion memorandum understanding that spans from 2019 to 20 2028. But as of October 2023, America has provided an estimated of $21.7 billion of military aid, which is well over the typical $3.8 billion baseline. So with the U.S. committing roughly $12.5 billion in supplemental and baseline allocations for single high conflict fiscal period. So at a minimum, it's $3.8 billion just in American aid to Israel. Cool. So we're paying for their healthcare. I love it. I love it. That's great. They get healthcare. I get to pay for their healthcare. Super cool. You know, Iraq used to have does Iraq have a constitutional right to healthcare? Yes, Iraq explicitly guarantees the right to healthcare in its constitution. Under Article 31 in their constitutional articles, every citizen has the right to healthcare. It establishes that the state is responsible for maintaining public health and providing preventive and curative measures by establishing hospitals in the public health institutions. There you go. Right to health in Iraq. Guess who paid for that? Guess who set all that up?
Not because people are stupid, but because they're being talked to like they are. What pisses people off isn't that fraud exists. What pisses people off is watching billions disappear, watching nobody get held accountable, and then being told that they're the problem for noticing. Because look around. You know, people are working more than ever, paying more than ever, and getting less in return. Healthcare is a joke. Housing is insane. Childcare is unaffordable. Food costs more every single month. But somehow there's always unlimited money for programs that nobody can explain. And when somebody points that out, the conversation immediately shifts away from answers and straight to shame. That's not leadership. That's damage control. And here's the part that nobody really wants to admit. This isn't a political problem anymore. It's a trust problem. When citizens feel like they have to question everything and it gets spun, dismissed, or reframed, they stop.
Yeah, Robert Boyd. I already went into Israel. Israel spends $40 billion a year on healthcare. Every man, woman, and child has health insurance and guaranteed in their constitution. They don't really have a constitution, but they have a guaranteed since 1995, guaranteed healthcare in Israel, paid for by you and me. It's rad.
Not believing anything that they're told. Not because they want chaos, but because honesty has disappeared. And until accountability becomes louder than excuses, this anger isn't going anywhere.